We wanted to create a fun, non-judgmental space where women can talk about their shared experiences.
Here, we will normalize the challenges we face as females living in a society that dictates unrealistic and outdated expectations on what a woman should be.
Together, we hope to cultivate a supportive community of women who empower one another to courageously live unapologetically.
A quick disclaimer before we get started. Although Cindy and Danielle are licensed therapists, this podcast is not to be interpreted as therapy or a replacement of therapeutic services. It is strictly a conversation between two women about their experiences in the world today. If you liked today's episode, please make sure to like and subscribe below. Also, follow us on all social media platforms at Unapologetically Females. With that being said, we hope you enjoyed this next episode.
Welcome back for another episode. Did I say that like I was from the Midwest?
Episode.
Yeah.
Welcome back from another episode.
Yeah. Apparently it's a thing.
It is.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You look a little like you got lucky over the break.
Maybe I did. Who knows?
Right, good for you.
Well, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Today we are talking about, and I know we've kind of touched on some of it in previous episodes with some of our guests, but this whole the gentle parenting movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what it's creating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like complicated feelings around it.
Yeah,
you know?
I think a lot of people probably do.
Because I wasn't raised that way. And I think that there's, not to say that the way anyone is raising we're all different, and every
Totally.
kid needs to be parented differently. Like and
we all make mistakes in our parenting.
100%.
I made a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all just trying to figure it out and do our best.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, we're coming from just a conversational space. And
Yeah, this is a topic that we chose because it was kind of popular on TikTok, right?
yeah, it's just been, you're always hearing about it. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think that for me, I sometimes see those things and I'm like, oh my gosh, how bad am I ruining my kids? Because it's like,
Because you feel like you're gentle or you don't?
no, that I'm not the most gentle, like in that, or I'm not consistently gentle. Like there's one video I was watching and it's like, Mom, we don't say no, we say, and then explain something else. Or we don't say good job, we say, oh, look what you just did. Or we don't say this, but we say, and it's all of these. And in the video, the mom is like exhausted because she's like, I can't say everything I'm saying.
Right, she has to overthink everything that she's going to say.
Is not correct. And so I think that, we've definitely tried to be a mix of, gentle parenting and just aware of how we treat our children.
Yeah, I will say I wish that I used firmer boundaries in my parenting. I think I probably gave some mixed messages of, no, okay.
But like that's so we're tired.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's the thing where I'm like, I get it. Yeah, sure. Consistency is key, to having some changed behaviors and things like that. But at the end of the day, we all do that. We all have bribed our children.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
We have all given in to the, the no. Okay. Like it just, and that's the piece where I think it's normalizing that of like, you're not a bad parent because you gave in. You're not a bad parent because even giving your children experiences, my husband and I have talked a lot about this of, the line between, spoiling your kids and turning them into entitled, humans.
Or teaching them about money, which is something we'll talk about on another podcast. But the value of money and that things cost.
Right. And so there's this balance of how do we raise financially responsible, financially literate children, and also still be proud that they can have some really cool experiences.
Well, the experiences I feel like is what makes the memories. That's what kids remember. That's what we remember as adults, right?
Yeah.
So I think that spending money on experiences is rarely ever regretful, but spending money on, trivial things or
I'm guilty of both. So
same, 100%. But now looking back, now that my kids are grown and flown, it's like, I wish I did more experiences with them.
Right. Yeah. And I think we've tried to really, that is something that we've tried to be intentional about. Even with birthdays, we always gave our daughter an option to do like a trip or have a birthday party.
Yeah, like
you
that.
know,
I didn't. I went overboard on all birthdays.
Yeah. So, but this movement and it being, I mean, I feel like it's shoved down our throats all the time. And it's just so prevalent of, you have to, you're messing up your kid if you don't, if you don't do these things. And it's like, we all lose our shit. Mm-hmm. We all break at some point.
Yeah.
And we hit, after the 10th time of saying the thing, we all have been there. And yes, like it's so important for us to do our own work and to be regulated adults. So we're not, but even the most regulated adult has a bad day.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
We're human.
Yes.
Yeah. And guess what? These kids didn't come with a information guide, right?
Right.
There's no owner's manual
Right.
that we're supposed to follow. So we are just making the shit up as we go.
Absolutely. So the reason I wanted to talk about it is because it is so prevalent. And I think that it has gotten to a degree where it can be paralyzing as a parent to be like, am I doing this right? Is this the right way to be parenting my kid? Is this the, I didn't redirect in the way that, the video told me to, or, all of the things that we're seeing. So does that make me less than,
Right. And like in your household, is there a dynamic of good cop, bad cop? Or are you more the disciplinarian? I know when my kids were growing up, I was more the disciplinarian, believe it or not. Rita's like, no. But yeah, I was the one that had to like hold them to accountability and hold them to the punishment or whatever it was if their phone got taken away, or I had to be the one to take it away.
Yeah. I think we're pretty equal in that.
Yeah.
I would say. I think I do think my kids are more, this isn't a good thing, but I think they're more fearful of me though.
My kids definitely were. Well, no, one was, one wasn't, which is interesting. But yeah, they have very different personalities though.
So do mine. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, but I have really tried to figure out what the balance is for me in all of this, and figure out, having that knowing mentally, mentally, as far as like their mental health and their own emotional well-being, that there is so much value in leaning into this gentle parenting side, leaning into, just having really healthy emotional conversations, having vulnerability, building trust, practicing that connection, like connecting. And then when I do mess up, owning it, apologizing, like reconnecting with your kid. And so those are all absolutely things that I believe in, and we absolutely try and implement in our house and in our parenting. And then on the flip side of it, there are things that I'm like, I feel like there is, there's a point where it's like, I'm going to have some old school parenting.
Well, but I do feel like kids need to have some form of consistent discipline, right? It teaches them guidelines for life, like as far as what is acceptable and what is not. And also it makes them feel safe.
Yes. And I'm also the goal here is to raise healthy, good, kind human beings, adults, like independent,
keep them safe,
and keep them safe. And I feel like I would be doing my children a disservice if they didn't understand that life isn't always going to be gentle and easy. And again, not causing trauma,
no, gosh, no, we're not talking about like severe discipline or anything. It's more like you're grounded because you can't came home an hour late from curfew or
yes. And no, you can't speak to me that way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you can't be disrespectful and rude, and you can't speak to anyone that way, you know, especially any adults. And you shouldn't be speaking to your friends like that either, you know? And so understanding and learning those things and holding the line there versus like, I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it directly versus, you know, doing the weird wordsmithing, manipulate, you know, like trying to make sure that my words are gentle enough that, you know, I don't know.
That makes me think of, how do you feel about people that are like, oh, my child's my best friend, or, oh, my mom's my best friend?
I think that I say that with my kids. Like, I'll be like, oh, I call Harper my broke best friend. My son tells me all the time I'm his best friend.
Yeah.
He's 4. They also know that I'm going to keep them safe. They know that I'm going to have expectations of them. I'm going to have boundaries. They know there's rules. They know there's discipline and consequences to actions. So it's like, I think it depends on how it looks. You know, like I think of the Mean Girls, that movie Mean Girls, and the mom that, you know, when it's
the fun mom.
Yeah. I think that when it's, you know, a dynamic like that, or, you know, a version of that, it can be really unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know that there is a power differential. There is. Like, I'm the parent, I'm the grown up, and you are the child. And if that isn't respected and understood, I think it's dangerous and can be really, really toxic and unhealthy.
Yeah. The boundaries need to be held, and and because when kids go into adulthood, they're going to have someone who is in charge of them, or, you know, they're always going to have to be following someone else. Not always, if they go eventually work for themselves, but following under somebody else's rules or expectations. Yes. And if they go into the CEO of their new company and say, "Hey, let's be best friends," that's not gonna fly, right? And we haven't done our job by preparing them for that in that way. That's like radical acceptance, right? Like, you're always gonna have somebody who you may not see eye to eye, or you may not meet on the same playing field, but that you have to follow their instruction, or you have to do what they ask you to.
In any environment, you may, you know, be an entrepreneur, but there are still rules you're going to have to follow. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that is life. And I think preparing our children for that. And I think right now I was just talking to somebody he's my cousin, and he's a regional manager for a large corporation, but they have retail stores. And I would say majority of the staff are early 20s. And I was laughing because he was like, it is so hard, because it's like they are so, 18 to 22, right? That like they're just so fragile. And it's like, oh my gosh, I was looked at the wrong way, or somebody said this to me. And then he's like, then they have to go home, or they need to take a day off. And it's like, it's a whole thing where for me, and it's, yes, I am all about like a mental health day, or, you know,
but you also need some grit. You need to know that you have to show up on time and consistently in order
people are going to look at you cross-eyed. Like, people are going, there are things like, this is life. And when we were having that conversation, I had just watched a reel or something, a video, and I was cracking up because, again, talking about this new generation of kids, and it's like, this new generation is soft. Like, they share their location with their parents.
I see that stuff all the time.
I was dying laughing.
But you know what, too, if we fall victim to, quote unquote, is that we cannot compare when we were kids to kids so now. Different. It is entirely different. We didn't have the technology. We didn't have all the things that they have. We didn't have all this information at our disposal, at our fingertips.
Right.
And so
my dad would have loved to track me. Like, it would have brought him so much joy.
Totally.
But I think it's also created a level of codependency and a false sense of security. Like, I there are things that these advancements in technology have absolutely hindered, I think, some people's ability to be independent.
Yeah.
And so there's just
or
such
problem solving, maybe.
Problem
because
solve-
you can
critically think.
Yeah.
You know,
imagination.
All of that.
Yeah. But I also do not want to devalue the experience of COVID that generation went through. Like, that was seriously intrusive and life-changing.
Yeah.
And, to be a child and then think that the whole, your whole world is in control and supported and safe and everything, and then one day wake up and you have this message of
everyone's wearing masks,
everyone's wearing masks, everyone's sick, you can't go to school, you can't see your friends, you can't, and the life is no longer as you know it.
Absolutely.
That is massively impactful.
Oh, for sure.
And that is a message that's like, what if it happens again? You're just constantly thinking.
Yeah.
Your nervous system is like constantly waiting for the shoe to drop.
Mm-hmm. I do think it's easy. Because we've moved, quote unquote, past it.
Yeah.
I think that is a huge piece of, especially for, a chunk of kids that had some wild experiences with their growing up for 2 years, I would say.
You'd say 2 years? Yeah.
About 2 years of your life. That's huge when you're, that in that stage. And so absolutely that has impacted, I think, how they view the world and
how they navigate through it.
Yep, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, and it's really hard, understandably, from what I've heard, to get people to come work in person, right?
Yeah.
Most people want to work from home, I'm probably 50% remote. Not by choice, but because that's just the way that the world has evolved due to COVID. And it's convenient for a lot of people. Yeah. But if you need somebody hands-on, like, in the restaurant business or the serving business or things like that, it limits your pool of employees.
Yeah. The challenge, though, that I'm seeing with that, and that's where I have this love-hate relationship with, especially for younger, I think that the 20-something-year-olds need to get up and go to work, like get in person to learn how to be with others. And there is value in learning, sitting next to somebody and learning from them.
For sure.
And learning from people who have been doing it for years. And we're missing that element. And as somebody who, works and has overseen teams, and not everyone is equal in their ability to work remotely, as far as just their ability to do it and what they're able, what that looks like. And it's very easy to tell who can work remotely and who who is not able, people that are not able to do it as well. But I think that mid-20s, or as you go out into the workforce, you graduate college, it's like you're missing so many learning opportunities when you're just remote, sitting at home by yourself. Right. And the other piece that I have seen a lot of in practice, and then also just people that I know, these 20-something-year-olds that are working from home, I've noticed the decline in their mental health
for sure.
Because they start to isolate, and it's like, well, now I don't have to get up and get ready and leave the house and see the sun, and all of these things, just going through those motions, that it really has impacted their mental health, and they've become just having more experiences or symptoms of depression, and then having anxiety when they leave the home.
Yeah.
And so
oh yeah, for sure.
That's I would say, yes, remote work is convenient and great, and there's a lot of positives to it. And I think that we don't also really consider some of the unintended consequences of it.
But now, as I'm thinking that maybe metaphorically, that is kind of like gentle parenting.
Yes.
Right? Where we're saying, okay, you work in a space that's comfortable for you, on your schedule, from your home.
Yes.
Things like that. But it's not beneficial necessarily to the person, because it's not teaching them to get up, get out, and fight through I don't want to go to work, I just want to stay in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
All
of
of those.
course, there's real mental illness, depression,
Absolutely.
challenges with that. That's not to say that that should not be respected and understood. And it just creates a different mindset
For sure.
of what work looks like.
Absolutely. There was something, again, here I go. These are the things that pop up on my feed because I just watch the dumbest stuff. It's great because
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, we all do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was cracking up yesterday watching stuff like belly laughing. It was so good. But there was a video of this woman and she's like, "Oh, you kids think we're so cringe." She's like, talking about, we wore heels to the club so you could wear tennis shoes and baggy jeans.
And we wore pantyhose.
Yeah. And
we'll figure that out. Yeah. I mean, those things were awful.
But it's just the differences in kids today versus, and not to say that, I loved the time that I grew up in, and not to say that there weren't things that I look back on that I'm like, yeah, I am glad that I know better.
Right.
And that we've had advancements.
And we don't do that anymore, pantyhose.
Yeah. Yes. Or even with parenting. And I'm so grateful for my education and my experiences so that I can carry that forward and try and do the best I can with my kids. Again, definitely don't get it right every day.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's just something that we should think about as a society as we continue to move forward of how can this be, what does this look like as we are growing these children into adults? How are we helping them and serving them to grow into healthy, safe, independent, kind human beings? Responsible. And how are we hindering that too? Yeah. And, so that's really the big thing. And I try and challenge myself to continue to look at it from that perspective of is this hurting them? Is this, or is this helping them? Or how am I contributing to that process?
Right.
So I don't know, just a food for thought.
Yeah. I think it's a good topic that it could be an ongoing discussion, and anybody that has feedback, please send us messages about what you think on this. And now I'm overthinking, full disclosure. Is pantyhose politically correct? Is it supposed to be nylons now, or?
Oh, it's probably something.
Tights. Yeah. They don't really exist anymore, right? Yeah.
They still exist.
They do. They still exist, but yeah.
I don't know though what they're supposed to be called. I'm not sure.
Do you even know what those are?
Yeah. So maybe
okay,
tights.
So it's tights.
So maybe tights.
Just tights. All right. Well, excuse my 50-year-old.
I thought tights though didn't cover your feet, and pantyhose definitely cover your feet.
No, tights cover your feet.
Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking leggings.
We've totally derailed. Yeah,
Sorry.
we derailed.
My bad.
But
anyway,
yes. At the end of the day, we're all trying to just do our best, and I understand that. But I do. I challenge us all to run our parenting, or through the question of how are we helping grow our children into
a strong, better generation than ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Until next time, as always, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Cindy. Thanks for listening.